Yo, what is good, everybody? Thank you all for coming in and joining us tonight. I am back with my boy, Boys for Life. This is Two Beasts, One East, and real quick, I would love to congratulate you, dude, on becoming a new father. You know, it's
thank you, man. Thank you.
Major milestone. You know, our last show that we did, the very first episode, this is episode 2. You know, you were just getting ready to have your son, so we put it off for a couple weeks, man. But yeah, dude, I'm so happy for you and your wife, and you know, I hope you guys are doing good and everything's going great, man.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. Everything's going well. We're still adjusting a little bit to the new sleep schedule that we got. So that's the fun part. But yeah, man, everything's going well, man. You know, it's a different experience. You know, my patience level went from 0 to 100, where I'm already 34. I'm kind of setting my ways to now. I'm like, all right, well, I got a son now, so I kind of gotta chill out. You know, I gotta have a lot of patience. So.
Yeah, no, man, it's definitely a big step. You know, I remember whenever I had my daughter at 28. You know, and it was definitely a huge milestone in my life, and it definitely flips your world upside down, because it's not only yourself you have to look out for anymore. You know, it's also that one little person, and. Yeah. It really brings a fear into you almost, you know, especially whenever I first had my daughter, dude. I was scared of everything for the most part, you know, because you don't want them to get hurt. So
yeah, no, my son, like, yeah, I don't want him to get hurt, and I try to put everything to where he doesn't get hurt. But the stuff like when I got to change him, like the crying that he does,
yeah,
like it's not me that I don't feel bad. But it's like he's crying because he's cold. I'm trying to hurry up and change him.
Yep.
And then I'm trying to change his, from one onesie to a different onesie. Like,
Yep.
He starts crying, and then his belly button, it's been already a month, and his belly button still hasn't healed properly. So our doctor that we have for him already told us to spray alcohol on it and dry it out, because they don't have nerves right there, right? They don't feel nothing right there. So they told us to spray, alcohol on it, and then with the Q-tip go inside. They said he's not gonna feel nothing, he's not gonna hurt, but he does cry a lot when we do that, and that's just because it's cold, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it actually hurts him, but I'm over here like, yes, I'm a mean dad. I'm just trying to make sure you're okay. I know I'm mean, and then I just cover him up, and then once I grab him and I hold him, he stops crying.
Oh yeah, dude, you learned to swaddle, right?
Yeah, we bought those halos, so I don't gotta learn how to swallow. It's just fold, and
Velcro it.
Velcro, and we're good.
Yeah, no, dude, I actually had to this one time. I really actually tried the old style diapers, like back in the day. You know, the cloth. I tried to put one on, no bueno. It did not work. I was like, yeah, I'll stick with diapers.
his blanket that he has. Like, my wife's over here showing me how to swaddle out, out of one of the blankets that he has. And I was like, no, I'm just going to keep it folded. And it's long enough for his body, so I'm just going to wrap it tight around one side, wrap it tight, and wrap it under him. And then he's stuck like that. So that's if I got to, freestyle swaddle, I'm just, folding him up into a burrito and wrapping it tight. And there we go.
Yeah, dude, they really look like a burrito too. I ain't gonna lie, a burrito with a head.
Yeah.
So yeah, our chat's already going off. We do have 13 people in here. Appreciate you guys so much. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe for both me and my boy Boys for Life. We are live streaming on my channel, his channel, Hardcore Sports channel. We are on Twitter and we are on Twitch as well. So appreciate each and every one of you for stopping in and joining us tonight. What's going on, Awesomeness? How you doing? Appreciate you. And thank you for all the retweets and stuff like that. Appreciate the support. OSG, same with you. What's good, my guy? Valix, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you, man, for stopping through. Randall the handle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go. We know it. Damn it, missed the intro. Hey, shout out to Key in the building, by the way, guys. Key in the building is responsible for all of my intros. She's responsible for my countdown that was at the beginning here. So appreciate all the work she does for me and literally every other Eagle YouTuber, and actually more than that. You know, she does intros for you too, right?
Yeah, she's done one intro for me, so
Yeah.
And that's the one I mainly use.
Yeah, so you know she does a lot of things behind the scenes people don't know about. So shout out to Key for that. You know we really appreciate you for everything you do. Yo, what's going on, Jaden? How you doing? BG, what's going on, man? Appreciate you for stopping through, sir. Cole's Cowboy, what is up, sir? How you doing? Yo, what's good, Mitch? Philly halftime, how you doing, sir? All day Ed, how you doing? Yes, everything is good here, bro. Hope all is well with the family there. It's been a minute since we got to play Xbox, dude, so we'll have to get back on it soon. Two real OGs who are fathers and love life. You two kick ass. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Oh, no, dad vibes. Yes, sir. It's always dad vibes, man.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you become a dad, man, kids are everything at that point, you know?
Yep.
I'm just here so I won't get fined. Damn, where were those at when I had my son? Oh, the swaddles? Yeah, they're actually pretty new, honestly. I think they came out when I had my daughter. Like, they were fairly new, and that was in 2016, so. Whoever invented them, though, perfect invention.
Yeah.
So hey man, you know let's talk about it. Yeah, I saw you had a little controversy today. You know,
Oh, yeah.
no, yeah, in Boys for Life's world, every day is a controversy. You know,
Yeah, it is.
no, you know you had that little poll today, Dak or Lamar, who's better? You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there that said Lamar. You know, there's some out there who think Dak. So where do you stand on that? And you know, explain it a little bit.
Well, let's put it in context. It was Lamar Jackson and of course the Dak Prescott argument, and the East Coast Gridiron Network, I guess, or whatever it is, all stood together and said Lamar Jackson was better, and I don't think so. I don't think so. So when I got into it with what's his name, Big Play Slade, the whole gang jumped in, right? And so I had like 5 different people I was talking to, and then he created a safe space or whatever those things are on Twitter, and we went and talked about it. And my stance was, look, I'm not a Dak fan. I mean, I really don't think Dak is the guy for the Dallas Cowboys. Actually, I don't think he's the guy to take us that far. I mean, I didn't even think Tony Romo was the guy to take us that far into the playoffs. I just thought he was a guy that kept us relevant, you know, kept us afloat as far as being mediocre. Because if it wasn't for Tony Romo, we'd be a bunch of 4-12s and 5-11s and 13s and 3s. And I mean, there's a difference between Dak and Romo. But when it comes to Dak being able to throw the ball, if you look at just statistics alone, Dak Prescott is head and shoulders above Lamar Jackson. I mean, I did my quarterback list here, and I mean, I get it. Lamar Jackson only played 12 games this past season, but in those 12 games, he had a 64.4% completion percentage. That's 21st in the NFL. He sat at 16 touchdowns passing, and that was tied for 24th with Jalen Hurts, right? I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't have had more if he would have played a full season, but that's where he stood. With 13 interceptions, you know, at 12 games, that's barely one interception, like 0.1 a game, right? 0.101 a game. And then, of course, his yardage, only, like I said, he only played 12 games. So he had 2,800 yards. But then when you look at Dak playing 16 or 15 games, whatever it was, because I think it was hurt, and then he sat out a game, he still sat where's his numbers? Where do I have him? I have him right there. We go. I have him at a 68.8% completion percentage, which is 4th overall in the NFL. He sits number 4 in total in 37 passing touchdowns, tied 8th for 10 interceptions, or he's at the 8th position. And then his total stats, I mean, his total passing yards was 4,449. So, I mean, if you look at just the numbers alone of where they're sitting, Dak Prescott is head and shoulders as a pure passer than what Lamar Jackson is. And I try to argue this, and they kept going back and forth. Well, he was an MVP back in 2019, and that's great. But an MVP doesn't mean how good of a quarterback you are. An MVP is how great you are for your team, right? I mean, that's most valuable player. It's not most valuable quarterback. It's how good you are valuable to your team. And that year in 2019, Lamar Jackson was very valuable to his team, throwing for 3,127 yards that season on 401 attempts. I think he had a 230 something completions is what he had that season. But he also ran the ball for 1,200 yards. You tell me what quarterback is not going to get an MVP? I mean, yes, he had 36 passing touchdowns. But what quarterback with that kind of stat line, even though we're in a passing league and you only have 3,100 yards, but you have as a quarterback, you have 1,200 rushing yards, what player isn't going to get an MVP, voting? I mean, but if you look at the pure passing stats, Dak Prescott to me is just better than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I watched some Dallas stuff today. I won't lie, because that was kind of what Skip and Shannon talked about this morning. And, I got to throw something at you, because even Skip, who is one of the biggest Cowboy fans in the United States, he even said it today. There is a point to where he's starting to feel like the Cowboys are just fool's gold.
They've been fool's gold. I'm not knocking that at all. I'm not saying that they're not. They've been fool's gold for I don't know how long. For I don't know how many years. I mean, we're already at the point with the Dallas Cowboys. And it's already proven with all the deals they're making as far as partnering with businesses instead of trying to better their own team. And I forget who I was listening to the other day, but it was a YouTuber. It was somewhere in the football community. But we got to understand also, their teams aren't out there to win Super Bowls. There are teams out there to make you look like we're competitive. But in the end run, this is a business and it's an entertainment industry.
Yeah.
We're fans. We're expecting for these guys to be taking it as a sports, a sports to where you're putting your all in to win. Not every team's like that. And I think with the Cowboys doing what they've done as far as winning their 5 Super Bowls, even though Jerry Jones says, I want to win more, they're doing nothing about winning more. They're more about, let's line our pockets, let's put whatever we got out there and let's see if it sticks. And then we're just going to hype up our team. I've said this time and time again in years past. Jerry Jones is the number one hype man to ever exist with this team. He's the number one hype man because he hypes his team up. He gets this fan base in a frenzy to where it's like, oh, we got a great team, we got this, we got that. And then people like me look like complete assholes. Excuse my language. I don't know if I can say that here, but I look like a complete jackass, right? By telling you what the truth actually is. And I'm called a hater, and I need to find a new team. But then at the end of the season, we're back to the same position and where we were 10, 15 years ago. I can hear you. I'm going to let my dogs in, but I can hear you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No, I get you, dude. I understand to a point, where you're coming from on the hater aspect because, we kind of get it here in the Eagles community to a point. If we don't agree with something someone says, you automatically become a hater over here as well. If you believe in Jalen Hurts or you have any belief in him at all, you're fucking crazy. But if you don't have belief in him, you're fucking crazy. So, it's a two-way street, dude. It's one of those things where you can't have your cake and eat it too. Listen, man, I will tell you this right now. I think it is I said it in LB stream today in his chat. I said, when it comes to the media, we've always been that team that gets dogged. We do. Now and then, you'll hear positive things about us, but for the most part, people are always on our job. Always. And they don't ever let us live it down. And in all honesty, man, I believe people like talking more negative about Jalen Hurts than positive. And I don't know why. It just seems like anything negative, I get it. It makes clicks. It makes people want to click, but
Yeah.
that goes for every team. And I heard today, too, they were like, well, you might as well start calling Dak Prescott Jerry Dak because they feel he's starting to think the way Jerry is. Like for instance, when he came out today and said that, oh, he's like, I'm in the best shape of my life. Even Shannon says, well, being in the best shape of your life ain't going to make you win a fucking football game. He's like, look at all the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. How many of them had six packs? I laugh because I was like, that's actually quite funny. He's like, Tom Brady he ain't even got one pack. Like half of these dudes have dad bods that have won Super Bowls. He's like, you can be in the best shape of your life. That doesn't guarantee shit. He's like, whenever Dak comes out and says, I'm in the best shape of my life, everyone's like, oh my God, we're going to be good. It's like, what's his shape got to do with anything on the field?
Exactly.
You're in the best shape of your life, but if you can't fucking do what you're supposed to do, what's it matter?
No, I mean, I feel you on that. I've never had. In high school, look. So in high school, I weighed 136 pounds. So I had a six pack by default because I was so fucking skinny, right? Like by default. But even still, I ate like a fat kid. I was never really quote unquote in shape, right? I was skinny as shit. But there were guys bigger than me, with six packs and all that played baseball just like I did. But I'm not one of the biggest guys on the field, but I was one of the better players on the field. And being in shape, you're right, has nothing to do. It's all about your football IQ. Can you throw the football? Can you even run the football? Can you generate first downs, keep the chains moving? And this is what I'm hoping Dak Prescott can do this year. He was doing that the first couple of seasons when he was here, but I think after the last couple of injuries that he's had, he's been hesitant to run the football. And I seen it last year to where there's plenty of times where he could have got a couple of first downs, by running the football, or he could have at least got 4, 5, 6 yards on a play, but he ends up throwing the ball away or taking a sack. So, I need more than just Dak Prescott to be in shape. And I'm not here to say that I want Dak Prescott to fail. That's never been my stance here, is that I want Dak Prescott to fail because I don't like him. I don't like Dak Prescott because I don't think he's the quarterback that everyone says that he is. There's a difference to what I'm doing. I want him to succeed. I want to be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'm cool about it, because rooting for Dak Prescott is rooting against your own team, and I'm not trying to root against my own team. That doesn't make sense. I just don't think he's the guy to do it. And I've said this plenty of times in my own streams and videos. The Cowboys don't take any stock into quarterbacks. If you've looked at any quarterback past Troy Aikman, they are bottom tier quarterbacks or middle of the road quarterbacks or bridge quarterbacks. Tony Romo, he's a great player, right? He kept the Cowboys relevant, for what he did, even though people want to say that, oh, it's because of him, we were so horrible, yada, yada. No, it's because of him, we were just barely relevant. But still, he was a bridge quarterback. You look at Dak Prescott, he's a bridge quarterback. Yes, I get it. He's the starter. You put all these weapons around him. He's going to succeed when you put that offensive line that they had around him for his first few years. They give him Amari Cooper. He had Dez Bryant. He had a Jason Witten. He has Ezekiel Elliott. They're revamping this offensive line. There's no way, a competent quarterback like Dak, even a middle of a road quarterback like Dak Prescott, can succeed when you have all these weapons. Imagine if you put an Aaron Rodgers around this. Imagine if you put a Tom Brady around this, or Patrick Mahomes around this, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert around this type of weapons and offense that the Cowboys have. You're not sitting here and the Cowboys aren't getting laughed at if, they haven't been to an NFC Championship game. No, if you have Aaron Rodgers for his full extent of his career on the Dallas Cowboys, you're reaching the NFC Championship a couple times. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but you have Tom Brady on here, you're touching an NFC Championship, maybe a Super Bowl a couple times because of the weapons they have around him. To me,
So
I think
did last year convince you because you had Amari, because you had the CD, because you had Gallup, and all those? Pretty much, you had three number one wide receivers for the most part, and you had Pollard and you had Zeke, and even your line. I mean, they weren't what they used to be a couple years back, but they weren't bad,
well, I mean,
But
they
like,
were the most penalized offensive line in the league, I think, last
yeah,
year.
but I mean, he still got protected.
Yeah, he still got protected.
So like, does that prove to you as a Dallas fan right there because of Diggs going off last year, Parsons going off, your defense actually wasn't that bad, and not being able to get it done? Does that right there convince you that going forward he shouldn't be the answer? Because, like you say, if you would have given Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady that team last year, guaranteed they probably go to the championship, if not the Super Bowl. So I mean, I've always told you, man, I've always looked at Dak as like a Kirk Cousins 2.0. They'll give you great stats all year long. They'll give you the 4,000 plus yards passing. They'll give you the 30 plus touchdowns. Um, am I really?
Yeah, you're starting to blast a little bit back again. Yeah, you have a mic. You have a mic on there, right?
Yeah, I got it. Hold on.
Yeah, lower the mic a little bit because you are blasting. Just
Is that better?
lower it like all the way down. Like go take off auto adjust. Go to go to settings and then go to audio.
Is that
Take
better?
off auto adjust and then go to mic level and lower it like past like 70.
I'm in 10. I'm at 10 right now.
Oh shit, you're at oh wow. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Is
Oh,
it
okay.
really that fucking loud, dude? It should
Yeah,
not be that loud.
does your mic actually have a volume on the back?
No. I
No.
don't
Okay.
even use a mic, bro. I use my mic through my laptop because I've never had an issue before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't know.
All right,
You've been blasting you've been blasting on mine.
quiet now. My bad, guys. I didn't know I was blowing y'all's ears out, so I'll talk lower. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. That's why I'm over. That's why I was over here. Like I can hear you like loud and clear. Like that's why like my headphones on. I can only hear through the headphones. I can hear you all the way across the room. Like even though you're talking normal, I can hear you like clear across the room through the headphones.
My
It's all right.
bad.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, no, it's probably your mic levels that you probably need to adjust like on the computer.
Yeah.
So,
So,
well, we'll figure it out. We're still this is only show number 2. We'll get all the kinks worked out, man.
yes, sir. But yeah, go ahead and answer that if you want, bud.
Oh, what was the question again?
Like, do you feel like that proved to you
Oh
last
yeah,
year
that's right.
he isn't the guy? Because, like you said, if you insert one of them already elite QBs, you pretty much almost guarantee yourself to go all the way. So, like, it, you know,
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it had anything to do. I don't think it had anything to do with last year. I think it had to do a lot with what answered my questions a lot was when Zeke got suspended for 6 games, and then when Dez Bryant was not on the team, and it was wide receiver by committee. And I get it, we had horrible wide receivers as far as Allen Hurns. I mean, we had decent wide receivers, but no true number one or hardly even a number 2 wide receiver. But even still, going 3-5 and just Dak Prescott looked awful. Like his weaknesses were exposed tremendously when it was all right. You know what? We're going to now stack 8 in the box and control Zeke and make sure Dak Prescott beats us because we know he can't. And this is and I'm not trying to transition over here, but this is a good transitional piece to where I think this is what's going to happen with Jalen Hurts. I think they're going to take away his running ability and they're going to make him pass. Try to see if he can pass the ball. And I get it, you have an AJ Brown, but AJ Brown is another guy who hasn't been a focal point for his team. Derrick Henry was that focal point, right? And then when you see, I was looking at the correlation of last year when Derrick Henry went out from week 9 all the way on. You see AJ Brown take a step back. Yes, he has like 2 or 3 games in that 9 game, like a third of those games he only had above 100 yards. Everything else was halfway decent type of stuff, and that's because he didn't have a Derrick Henry. Now he doesn't have a Derrick Henry on the Eagles, and now you have a Jalen Hurts who struggled to throw last year, and now AJ Brown is being paired up with this. So to me, that's what I'm saying. Like for me, to answer your question, go back to the Dak thing. Um, it's been a long time coming for me that he wasn't the guy. I kind of knew back in 2018 before we traded for him that Dak wasn't the guy again. I mean, I knew back when Zeke was suspended, but it all fell to a head for me, and it validated everything I thought when we didn't have a true number one, and Dak couldn't really throw the ball or think his way, do what these elite quarterbacks do, even without a number one.
Well, and I get your take on the whole AJ from last year, man. But listen, I mean, I'll give you that. You know, his numbers did decrease after Henry went down, but that's because whenever Henry went down, when Henry's in the game, man, your safeties are crashing the box because they all know what Henry can do. They all know what power he brings to that offense. You know what I mean? So when
Yeah.
you eliminate Henry from that whole equation, your safeties don't have to play like that. They can actually
Yeah.
back off. They can protect deep. They don't have to worry about the run as much. Now, granted, they also had Julio Jones last year, but let's be honest, that's Julio Jones last year, not 5 years
Yeah.
ago. You
Yeah.
know, so you can say he had help, but how much help was help? I mean, like I said, Julio is not who he used to be. But
I mean, Julio last year I think had
500.
500 yards, and I think he had like 40 something either targets or receptions
Yeah,
compared to AJ Brown's 105. So
yeah.
yeah, he really didn't have much help, right, or hardly any. But
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. AJ Brown last year was the main focal point, right? And
But
and
I get we don't have Derrick Henry, but we do
yeah,
have Miles, we have Gainwell, but we also have Devontae Smith. All right, granted,
no,
he's
no, no,
got
I understand, that,
there's
but
more weapons to focus on our team than what
yeah, but when
Titans.
you have Derrick Henry running the ball 300 plus times, over 600 times in 2+ seasons, while AJ Brown is there, and then you take all that away, and then now you got to divvy up Miles Austin, who PFF thinks he's not even going to be your leading rusher. It's going to be Jalen Hurts again, and that's because you're probably not going to have just Miles Sanders rushing the ball. You're going to have Kenneth Gainwell, and then Boston Scott still on your team?
No, I think he's
No.
a free agent.
Okay, so it's Kenneth Gainwell and Sanders running the ball. But then again, like I was talking, like I said on my show plenty of times, when y'all started to throw the ball the first 7 games a lot, Jalen Hurts struggled. So
Mm.
now and I'm glad I have you on here because I can ask you this because I want to know what you think. So do you think that now with AJ Brown here, they're going to try to make Jalen Hurts be a pocket passer and not let him run a lot the way he was, designed runs, or even the RPOs, or even let him take off the way he did? Or do you think they're going to try to make him be a pocket passer and try to beat you with his arm because now you have AJ Brown on your team because you paid all that money and then you traded away for him? So
So correction, Scott is on the team.
okay.
Uh,
So you got all those 3 guys running the ball. So I
yeah,
think that's going to take away from Miles Sanders rushing, because he's in that contract year, and I don't think he's going to be back. To be honest with you, I don't think he's
yeah.
coming back. So
Well, to answer your Hurts question, man,
okay, yeah, go for it.
I will say this: I am not one to sit here right now and truly, honestly talk about that because we are in OTAs and training camp and stuff, and they're about to come up, and I'm one of those guys, man. I have to see it on the field.
Yeah,
I don't pay attention to the media and, like that thing that was going around the last 2 days about Jalen Hurts and, on those 7v7s and those 10 plays, the 3 picks, 3 sacks, and 4 incomplete, whatever. Dude, I don't give 2 shits about anybody that says that shit. When week 1 comes and my team steps on the field, I'll know my answer.
yeah,
Week 2 comes, I'll know my answer, and 3 and 4. I don't give 2 shits about this right now. This right now is strictly for these guys to get chemistry, to learn one another, to bond, to have a brotherhood, and to just practice and get their timing right.
Yeah.
I don't give two shits about practice, dude. I really don't.
I'm gonna
You
give
know,
you kudos, man. I'm gonna give you kudos because to me, and I think if I stand corrected, you were the first Eagle fan that I have ever heard say that. Ever heard say that? Because that right there, the 7 on or the 10 interceptions or whatever it was, right? That's gonna be my main talking point later on today in a different in something else I'm gonna do, right?
Mhm.
So, but that's because there's a lot of people in your fan base that take a bunch of stock into OTAs and practice. But now when this kind of stuff comes out, they want to sit there and say, "Oh, I don't. It's only practice. It's only OTAs. It's only." And it's like, no, 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 no. You cannot do that. You
Yeah.
can't just automatically switch it up and talk about how some of these guys look like, Pro Bowl athletes and this and that in OTAs, when OTAs, like you said, are designed to get your feet wet, designed to get that muscle memory back, designed to get you back in shape, designed to get that chemistry down, to get a feel for your team.
Life again, to get back in routine, bro.
Yes, that's all OTAs is about. That's
Yeah.
I mean when you have wide receiver drills that are meant to make you look amazing, of course you're gonna look like a Pro Bowler because those
And
are the
then
drills
why,
that are
bro?
meant.
Let's be honest. Anyone can look great without pads on and shorts.
Yes, exactly,
Let's be honest.
exactly. But you have a lot of people in.
Anyone.
Yeah,
You're
and you
not
got a lot of
defending.
people in your fan base that say OTAs, everything else is I'm so happy, I'm so excited because this guy looks great in OTAs. Yeah, I even bash my own fan base for that stuff because it's nonsense. It's
Yep.
OTAs. No one cares. I
Yep.
mean, it's a glorified practice. It's just to get your feet wet and get back in that routine because it's only for what 2-3 days, something like that. It's not even for that long,
Yeah.
right?
No, you're
And
right.
then once training camp starts at the end of this month, then that's when you need to start paying a little bit more attention because then people are fighting for their spots, fighting for their jobs because then you got preseason next month. So yeah, like I just find it funny when people take so much stock into OTAs and everything. Like I said, when I saw this come out, I laughed my ass off. I laughed my ass off, not because I'm over here thinking, oh, it's just OTAs, who gives a shit. I'm laughing because once I saw this, and then because I knew it was coming out, I knew what was going to come out by certain Eagle content creators, and I was dead right about what they were going to talk about. They were going to talk about how it's only OTAs, it's not a big deal, yada, yada, yada. When those same people have said, oh, this person looks so great in OTAs, he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year, and yada, yada, this and the third, taking a bunch of stock into OTAs, showing those highlights in OTAs, showing drill. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, you realize Cowboys and the Eagles are not the only teams doing this type of stuff? There are other teams out there that are doing these type of things, and probably even more so, like even better than what we're doing it.
Let
But
me let me give you a scenario, bro. Last year, Jamar Chase gets drafted to the Bengals, right? He comes out OTAs, drops what 10 passes that one
yep,
day. Everyone instantly like this kid's gonna be a flop. Didn't he come out and fuck all y'all up? That was OTAs, right? He dropped them balls. Jamar
in that
Chase,
same in that
Jamar
same
Chase
scenario, in that
was gonna
same
be a
scenario,
tank, right?
in that same scenario, you had people in your camp because it was who was better, Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase? People in your camp sitting there saying, "Oh, we got the better wide receiver. Jamar Chase forgot how to catch a football. He's over here dropping this, he's dropping that. We got the better wide receiver. This isn't." And look. I'm not knocking Lamar Jackson. I'm not Lamar. Devontae Smith at all. I think if he had a quarterback like a Joe Burrow, or a Josh Allen or Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers, I think he'd be skyrocket. Sky's the limit. But when you're dealing with a limited quarterback, just like Dak Prescott limited, you're only so good as your quarterback, right? So Joe Burrow being what he is, Jamar, and plus they had a rapport with each other back at LSU, right? So I mean what do you have last year? Like 1,700 yards receiving or 1,400 yards receiving, somewhere around there.
I
He was the
think it
main
was like
focal.
close to 1,500. Close
It
to
was
15.
I think 1,700. I'm thinking of Justin Jefferson, but either way, I just find it so funny that come the season, that's when everything counts. That's when you need to start paying attention.
Yeah.
Not during OTAs, not during minicamp, not really during preseason, because it's all walkthroughs to get yourself ready for week one. You know, and I get it. Throughout the season, throughout the year, these guys, their body, their job, their job depends on their body, right? Their body, or however you word that. Like you gotta be in shape to play football. So these guys probably don't eat, you know, they probably don't put a lot of bad things in their body.
81 catches for 1455,
Yeah.
13 touchdowns
Yeah,
as
it was
well.
it was closer to 1,500. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like it's Chase, but that was with a guy that he had already a rapport with. So.
Yeah, but he had a rapport with him when he was dropping the balls in training camp, did he not?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I just find it funny that people sit like I like to call bullshit, and because I like my stints, my I keep it the same all the way around, and I just find it funny when people flip flop and they switch up from OTAs, create Pro Bowlers, and then all of a sudden OTAs don't mean nothing. No, it's laughable to me, man. It cracks me up.
And I realized, dude, I didn't even answer your Jalen Hurts question yet on the AJ.
Oh no.
And that was so 10 minutes ago. We just
no.
No, man. Listen, I really like the acquisition of AJ Brown. I get why we did it. We needed a number one, and they wanted to get somebody who was familiar with him, and obviously AJ is. A lot of people, man, they honestly don't talk about AJ Brown's run blocking enough. Like, this kid can actually run block very well. I don't think getting AJ Brown will specifically make him a pocket passer. I think if you take Jalen's legs away from him, you're crippling him. He's not normal like all these other quarterbacks. In fact, Jalen's built more like a fullback, in all honesty. He's got a pretty big upper body. He can squat a lot. He can take the hits that most quarterbacks can, But the point is, you don't want him to take those hits. I don't think that he's still going to run. I just don't think we'll run him as much as we did last year. But you can't take that aspect of his game away. If you look last year, man, Jalen Hurts was third in rushing when it came to 10-plus yards or more. The only two that were ahead of him was Chubb and Jonathan Taylor. And one other person, I think. He was either third or fourth in 10-plus yards rushed per game. Like, he had 38 or something like that. So he was right there. So that aspect, you can't really take that away from him. I mean, that's very effective. When you have a quarterback who can break 10-yard runs, he also had he had one of the best third down percentages last year. And he got most of that with his legs, converting third downs. So you really need Jalen Hurts' legs. Now, do you limit that, or do you let him keep going the way he's going? That's something Nick and them are going to have to figure out, and that's something they're going to have to figure out between their scheme. Are they going to stick with the RPO, or are they going to come off of it and go with the play fake more? I don't know yet. I don't even know how to answer that question, because I expect him not to come out with the same offense as last year. That's something Nick actually prides himself on. If you look last year, he was ecstatic. No one knew what our offense was going to look like week one. Like, he would not give anything away. He's very secretive. So I don't expect our offense to look exactly the same way, but that also will depend on how much Jalen Hurts has improved over the offseason. Can he stand in the pocket? Can he lead players? Can he throw players open? Is his accuracy better? Is his footwork better? Is his whole throwing motion better? All that will come into play, but I can't answer that in OTAs, dude, because like I said, anyone can look great in OTAs. And I understand, up here, where was it? I don't even care. But yes, they are athletes. They are athletes, but also athletes have bad days.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hang my head or hang my season on just one bad report. Tom Brady has bad days. Aaron Rodgers has bad days. Dak has bad days. Everyone does, even wide receivers. Like, I think
Yeah.
the criticism comes in the NFL a lot harder because we only have 18 games. When you talk MLB, you talk basketball, they got a shit ton of games. Like, what's baseball, 180?
162.
162? Dude, that's a lot of games. You can be shitty for a month and bounce back. You can't
Oh
do
yeah.
that in the NFL. Every week has to be precise. Every week you have to be on point. One time you fuck up could completely screw your season. So that's why you get a lot more criticism in football because you
Yeah.
have to be perfect. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No. I 100% agree with everything you just said right there. Um. Well, but I was going to talk about your coach Ariana prided himself on people not knowing what the offense was going to look like week one. I mean, let me ask you: is that because he's never been a head coach before, so no one really knows what his game plan was, or is that just because he just didn't want to tell? Because I mean, when you're coming out of preseason or going into preseason, and a lot of teams have really vanilla offenses and
Yeah.
defenses. So I mean, is that based off of no one knew what kind of coach he was, and do you think that this coming season, since there's kind of film on his coaching scheme and everything else, he's going to change it up completely differently, or is he going to keep it the same?
You mean with AJ Brown?
Yeah, with AJ. I mean, because I mean, for me, the way I think with AJ Brown is, uh, you're right. You can't take away Jalen Hurts' legs, and I don't think they're going to take it away all the way. But like what the Cowboys or what, let's just keep with the Eagles. What the Eagles did with Carson Wentz, where because he liked to run a lot, right?
Yeah.
They made Carson Wentz bulk up, gain weight, so that way he wouldn't take off out of the pocket, and to me it kind of screwed them all up. Do you think that they're going to try to make Jalen Hurts be more of a pocket passer because you got AJ Brown and not so much like you said? Because I mean, you said it. You can't take away his legs all the way, but you can take him away.
Yeah.
Because you can't really. I mean, logistically, with the numbers, the way if Jalen Hurts has the numbers that he had last year, there's no way. There's just logistically no way that Devontae Smith ends up with 1,000 yards, and there's no way that AJ Brown ends up with 1,000 yards.
Yep.
Someone is going to have less, or neither one of them are going to have 1,000 yards because Jalen Hurts is rushing last year. I think Jalen Hurts last year passing, he had a total of 432 attempts, and not one of your guys touched 1,000 yards. And then his rushing attempts were 139. I mean, the fractions, what, it's like a third around there, somewhere like that. So a lot of his, and let me ask you this, because I asked this in my other stream. If a guy is dropping back to pass and then he takes off running, does that turn into a rushing attempt, or is that still like a passing?
No, that's a rushing attempt.
It turns into a rushing attempt.
After he goes over that line of scrimmage,
Yeah.
it turns
So
into
yeah, I mean, he had 139 as a quarterback. A quarterback, he had 139 rushing attempts. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me because most of these quarterbacks nowadays, unless you're a Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson, I think his rookies had his MVP season had like 149 rushing attempts, and he had 1,200 yards.
yeah.
Jalen Hurts had 139 for 700. What was it, 50 something? Rushing attempts. How many rushing yards?
I think he had. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
check.
it was. Oh, I mean, I actually
thought it
have it
was
right
eight.
here. I have it right here. I don't even know why I'm not 784 rushing yards. That's what he had last year on
Yeah,
139 attempts. On 139 attempts, and then let's just say he throws for 400. He drops back 432 times and he doesn't take off. There's no way. And then he does 265 completions. That's around half, right?
Yeah.
completion. That's around half. There's no way, logistically speaking, that either one of your guys, especially if you're trying to force feed AJ Brown the ball because he's your number one acquisition and he is getting paid, what is it, 100 mil or something like that. And this, like I said, this is a business, and I know the Dallas Cowboys aren't the only ones that do the follow the money. Who's getting paid the most is going to get the most playing time. The Cowboys aren't the only one that does this. This is basically around the NFL. So for me, I think you trading for AJ Brown, he's getting paid the most out of the wide receivers. I think he's going to be force fed the ball a lot, and it's going to be bad for Jalen Hurts. I think that's just me.
Stop being a hater.
I'm just thinking logically here, you know.
Well,
like, and I do that with Dak Prescott too. Like people ask me how many. Like, I gotta ask, how many yards do you think Dak's gonna have, and how many touchdowns? And I said, well, based off what they did in the draft, to me they're gonna go back to running. I don't think that Dak Prescott is gonna touch 44 or 4,500 yards this season like he did last year. I don't think he's gonna have 37 touchdowns this year like he did last year. I think he's gonna have around 27 to about 33 touchdowns, and he's going to give or take 4,000 yards. So he can be 3,900. He can be anywhere from 3,900 to 4,100 to maybe 4,200. But he's going to take a little bit of a step back as far as yardage because I think we're going to be running the ball a lot more than what we are, the way we drafted. So, I mean, I'm like I said, I am very unbiased, and I just look at everything at a logical standpoint. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, man. I liked how you put that. You know, if you guys become a more running team this year, that might benefit you guys to a point because you do want to take some pressure off of CD, especially him being first year number one. You know, and I'm interested to see that, man. I'm interested to see what he can do against CB1s. You know, last year he didn't have to do it. This year he has to. You know, so I'm interested to see what the kid can do. In my opinion, man, Tony Pollard should be your number one, not Zeke this coming year. I mean, I would use Zeke as a 3-4 down back, you know, or short yardage or even in the red zone. But Pollard, man, he definitely opened my eyes last year a little bit.
Yeah, but you can't do that with Tony, and I'll give you why in a second when you get done.
No, yeah, you know, you guys, I give you guys all the credit, man. You do have a decent team. I'm probably one of the few out there who say that this is going to be a very close year in this division this year. And in fact, in some sort of sneaky way, man, I'm not even going to play. This could be a three-way battle here at the end between us, you, and Washington.
Commanders. Yeah.
And I'm not even playing, man. Listen, I know a lot of us count the Commanders and the Giants out, you know, because they are like the annoying little brothers that you just want to punch in the face because they annoy the shit out of you, you know. Like, we're the dominant ones in this division, obviously, over the last several years. And these two are just annoying. Now and then they'll creep in and take first from us. But then we go right back to being on top again, or you guys will. You know, but Washington, man, they actually have some really good talent. You know, they did go have 7 wins last year. I don't know how Carson Wentz is going to work out there. I really don't. Okay, I know mentally he's weak, but physically as an athlete, I give him all the props in the world. He's one hell of an athlete. He's got one hell of an arm. But mentally, the kid's broken. You know, I truly feel he just doesn't love football. He plays it because he's good at it. You know, it's not a love thing. It's just, hey, I'm good and I make money doing it, so I'll do it. But they could be sneaky, man. You know, they could give both of us, you know, especially if we would come out and say we flop against Arizona and we flop against Minnesota and we lose to you and we lose one to the Commanders and then the Steelers and then Green Bay. You know, like, dude, if we lose too many games, it might open up that opportunity for Washington to sneak in, same as you. Maybe both of us, your team and my team, both go on a little downhill spiral for 3 games, which gives them the opportunity to catch up. Anything can fucking happen. but I know Washington has enough weapons. They can do something if all works out. Quotations, all works out.
Yeah. No, I try to talk shit right now to Big
No, go
Simple,
for
and
it.
and in the chat, and I put CD, but it auto corrected to Feeder. I was like, it's better than Terry, and I was like, son of a bitch, son of a bitch. But by the end of the season, or I'm gonna say it now, CD Lamb is better than Terry McLaurin. I'll tell you right now. Just look at the stats right now. I mean, I get it. I get it. Terry McLaurin has had like 8 quarterbacks since he's been there, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
nonetheless, you look at just the pure stats. CeeDee Lamb is better. I mean, look at Terry McLaurin's stats. His rookie season, he had 5 touchdowns. I think last year or 2 years ago he had, or 2 years ago he had 4. I think last year was his best year was 7. 7 touchdowns. He hasn't. I mean, I get it. CeeDee Lamb hasn't touched double digits.
Yeah, but doesn't he also have 2,000-yard seasons out of 3? And
Who?
he did that, McLaren, and he did that.
Yeah.
He did that with the likes of fucking Taylor Heineke. Like, we're not even talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, Heineke wasn't bad throughout the whole season.
No, he's not. But that's kind of my point, though. Heineke is sneaky good. Like,
yeah,
he's not.
No.
He's not great.
So we can't really knock him. So we can't really knock Heineken for it.
No, but he's not of the talent of Dak. He's not of the talent of Joe Burrow or
no, he's not.
So to get 1,000 yards with Heineke, man, that's kind of impressive as a wide receiver. I mean, I'm not knocking him. I guess I am.
Well, when you're the only wide receiver to be thrown to, I mean, I guess you can say it's impressive when you're the only one. It's impressive that he's able to get open and get those kind of yardage. But didn't he have a lot of yak yardage? Isn't he a yak kind of guy? Let me look up his stuff real quick.
Well, he is a yak guy, dude. But I mean, he's fast. But the kid's got great hands, man. Like, remember that catch he made against, who was that? The first game that they played last year. He made that sideline catch. The dude was right in front of his face and went right through the defender's.
Didn't they play the Giants last year in the first?
That might have been, but dude, like he just always knows where to be. He's a great, fantastic route runner. He's very fast.
Well, he's being targeted. He's being targeted 130 something times. So his last 2 seasons was 264 times he was targeted. 2020 he ended up with 1118, and last year he ended up with 1053. So when you're targeted that many times, and your receptions are 87 and 77, and your yards, receiving yards receptions, are basically 13 and 14 yards of reception. Yeah, I mean, when you have that kind of downfield threat, you're going to get those kind of numbers, but
really the only threat they've had.
You what?
He's really the only threat.
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
but then when you look, but like I was doing a little bit of a breakdown the other day. I was just looking at his stuff, and I was doing it on my own. When you look at Scary Terry's stuff, in 2000, last year I think was his best year against the Dallas Cowboys. I think he had like 41 yards against the Dallas one game and like 91 yards the other game. But then the year before that, he was awful against the Dallas Cowboys. He was straight bad. I'm gonna look it up right now, but yeah, because I mean I'm not saying he's not a. I mean he's a good he's a good wide receiver.
Let me ask this: if Scary Terry was on your team with CeeDee Lamb, you don't think Scary Terry would be better than Lamb?
I mean, it all depends on who gets the targets. It all depends on who's the focal point. I mean, you can sit there and say, Scary Terry's the better wide receiver, but if CeeDee Lamb is getting all the attention and getting all the targets, and what I mean by attention is he's getting all the balls thrown his way, and Scary Terry isn't, you're going to sit there and say, well, CeeDee Lamb's better because look at the numbers and look who they're throwing to. And it all just depends on who they're throwing to. Now, if they were equally the same, like, each guy is getting 100 targets and Terry's getting, 200 to 300 more yards than what CeeDee Lamb is, then yeah, I'm going to say Terry's better. Or if it's vice versa the other way, I'm going to say CeeDee Lamb's better. And like I said, but it all depends on. Oh, last year. I'm sorry, it was last year. Scary Terry had 3 targets for 0 receptions in an entire game against Dallas. And then that was the first game. Second game, he had 40. He had 6 targets on 3 receptions for 40 yards. No touchdowns in either game. He had 5 touchdowns last season.
Mm-hmm.
5 touchdowns. He went. I mean, we were getting made fun of for being Cowboy fans and saying that there's no way your true number 1 wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb can go 6-7 games without a touchdown. Well, Terry McLaurin last season went all the way from week 11 to week 17. What is that? 7 games? 6, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games without a single touchdown. I mean, like I said, we can't really knock that he had Tyler Heineke because we both said Tyler Heineke was sneaky good, but your number 1 wide receiver can't disappear for 7 whole games. I mean, in those 7 games, he had 51-yard reception, 22-yard reception against Dallas. He didn't have nothing. I think he had 1 game above. He had 2 games above 60, and that was the Philly game and then the New York Giants game, the last 2 games of the season, where he had 61 yards and 93 yards. So, I mean, if we're gonna keep everything the same here, if our number 1 can't be a true number 1 and go 6 games without a touchdown, then Scary Terry can't be considered a true number 1 going 6 or 7 games without a single touchdown and having those numbers like that, you know?
Yeah, and one, honestly, man, I love that, you're a passionate Cowboy fan, but to sit there and say he's way better, that's
No, who's way better? Who's way better?
No,
No, I'm not saying CD.
No, the guy here in the chat.
I I never said he was way better.
No, not you. I'm talking to this guy. He said Lamb is way better. To say he's way better, dude, that's a lie. I really can't say he's way better. And I like what Jeff said, dude. Between Lamb, CD, and AJ, in their own right, they're all 3 great because they all 3 play different. They all 3 are different sizes, and I'm telling you, man, like, they're great in their own ways. But I can't sit here and say one's way better than the other. I mean, I'm an Eagle fan, bro, and I'm not saying AJ's way better than CD. I'm not saying he's way better than McLaren. Like, one of them is better, one of them isn't. But I believe that they're all pretty much on the same playing field as number 1s, for at least in the NFC East.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with either one of them.
Yeah, to me, I think, this is just me, Terry McLaurin and CeeDee Lamb, I think, are interchangeable, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be straight up. They are interchangeable. So, and I'm a little pissed right now because I was looking at some stuff that I thought I had saved. There was a list of how CeeDee Lamb matches up with like Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and all this other. There was like a list, and they had it labeled and everything. I thought I had it saved, but man, I don't got it saved. I was going to use that as a talking point today. Right now, I was going to upload it and we're going to look at it, but I don't even have it saved, man. I'm pissed. I got to go find this thing because it was. You what? No. I was going to say, like, it was an insightful list, and now I got to go dig through Twitter and fucking try to find this thing. So I don't know where it's at because it's not saved on my photos, and then I thought I had like retweeted it, but I didn't. So now I got to go find this thing.
Jeff wants to know. He wants you to rank. Well, he wants us to rank our running backs in the NFC East real fast. What would your rank be for the 4?
So we're ranking what?
Just from Washington Giants.
We're ranking Sanders, Gibson, Dak. Zeke, and Saquon. And this is just because he's been injured. He's going to be last for me. He's been hurt too much. He's He's gonna be last for me. Um, Sanders, he didn't score a single touchdown last season, and he was second fiddle to his quarterback. He's got to be third for me. Gibson, was a weapon, one of the very few weapons that they had on that offense last season. Terry being the other one, and then Ezekiel Elliott still being the main focal point, even though he was hurt, still put up over 1,000 yards last season. And then I got to look at how many touchdowns he had last season. But yeah, I think that's it. I think it's got to go Dallas. I think it's got to go Zeke, Gibson, Sanders, Saquon.
You said
What?
What did you say?
I
First?
said Zeke first, Gibson second, Sanders third, and then Saquon last.
Well, see, I'd actually flop your 1 and 2, man. I'd actually put Gibson first. Gibson
Really?
had a pretty badass year last year, dude.
Well, I mean, I had him in fantasy, so I'll
Yeah.
tell you, there was games he showed up, and then there was games he laid a goose egg.
For sure,
Like
but that's every halfback, though.
Yeah.
There's some. I mean, hell, there's some. Well, I'm gonna have to double check this, but I'm gonna say it right now, though. I'm pretty sure there's some games Derrick Henry's not effective.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
There's a couple games where he only had like 60 yards rushing, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's-
there's some running backs that their best game is 60.
No, you're right, but I'm saying though, 60 yards to Derrick Henry is a down game.
Yeah.
That's my point. Like every halfback has down games. There's certain times you go into a game and they have a really good run defense, so you pass the ball a lot, so your halfback isn't being used as much, and then you go into a game and you run 30 times because their pass defense is total trash, and you can do it.
Yeah.
But this
Well,
right here, Jeff, I got to get on you real fast, man. I love your motivation for your Giants, bro, and I don't want to piss on your parade, but calm down with the Galladay shit, bro. The dude's only ever had 1,000-yard year and 1 year in double-digit touchdowns. And that's fact, dude. And that's with Matthew Stafford, who obviously just won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Galladay is good, but he's not that good. Like, let's just calm down on the Galladay stuff, man. Like I said, he's been in this season a long time, and he's only got 1,000-yard season. Like, I'm not. No, I can't say you guys have talent at wide receiver position when your vet only has ever had 1,000-yard season. Like,
Yeah, so I was looking at
what to do seriously.
So I was looking at Z and Zeke stats and Gibson stats of last year.
Mhm.
They had roughly around the same thing. Antonio had 1037 rushing yards, while Zeke had 1002. Okay, but Antonio Gibson ran the ball more. He had 258 rushing attempts, while Zeke had 237. So let's just say Zeke adds 20 more rushing attempts. He's going to eclipse Gibson. But I'm not doing projections here. I'm just saying if that would happen. But then if you look at their touchdowns, Gibson only had 7 to Zeke's 10. So I mean, it's give or take who had what, who had this. I mean, they're interchangeable. So that's why, I mean, you can't argue. Who can argue? We can't argue one. You can flip flop 1 and 2. You can. But like I said, I mean, that was just me. Cowboys. I mean, and this was me just being unbiased here. Because I mean, if I think that if Saquon can stay healthy and be what he was in college, I can name Saquon all day as number 1. But he's just hurt way too much, and then there's no way I can give a guy in Sanders who played second fiddle to his quarterback at running, and then who didn't even score a touchdown last season. There's no way I can give him a top 2 slot, Like, I mean, if it was Zeke that didn't score a touchdown last season, there's no way in hell I'd give him a top slot,
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, he's had 2,000-yard seasons. My bad. The one was just barely over 1,000 yards. But yeah, okay, I'll give you that. He did have 2, but like I'm saying though, every other year though, he's only had like 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. I believe that 1,000-yard season he had 11, and that's the most he's ever had. That's what I'm saying. And now you go from him playing with a guy like Matthew Stafford to him playing with a guy like Daniel Jones. Like,
Yeah.
you see
Nah,
what I'm
there's.
saying?
Yeah, no, no. I'm just gonna get a bit real quick. I can say hear you, but there's a comment that I want to get down to that's coming out of my camp over here on 1/4 each finger.
Oh, okay, okay. Tony can be explosive, but he's hurt too much. Yeah, no, dude, I actually thought Tony did good for you guys last year when he played. You know, I know he almost eclipsed 200 yards his first game or whatever it was. Like, I hope you guys utilize him well, man. But
I wonder if they're gonna trade him.
I don't know, dude. Jeff, you're gonna have to talk Giants someday, man. Because no lie, dude, your franchise is probably very confusing to most of us.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I know. I don't know, man. I don't really pay attention that much to the Giants. No offense, Jeff, but you know, and I only know a little bit about Washington because my brother's a Washington fan, and I make fun of him all the time, so I have to keep up on it just so I'm right.
Yeah. No, I
Uh,
just it's funny because I had I finally went off script and I did a Washington fan, and what's his name? Big Simple was the one that I did because it was there's no way I couldn't pass up doing one on him. He was too loud, too eccentric, and just too overly hyped and overly excited about Scary Terry. So I had to do a troll video on him the other day.
but here's your question. I'm gonna
Oh
run it
yeah.
back.
So he was saying Gibson, Gibson again against a hurt running back in Zeke, and we still trying to do. Well, yeah. Well, I'm not saying I'm trying to do stats per se. I'm just showing like why I had Zeke at number one, and that's why I said if you give Zeke 20 more rushes compared to 20 more rushes added to what his total was, it would equal out to what Gibson had. And if you give 20 extra runs to Zeke, he's probably eclipsing Gibson, which is I mean that's even though we're projecting at that point, but still it's not I mean, it's feasible and it's possible, and it's not hard to think that if Zeke had 20 extra runs. I mean, we've seen it to where Zeke has 20 rushing attempts in a game and he has 150 yards. So I mean, it's not far fetched to say that kind of stuff. So that's why I was saying, like, that's why I was going back to stats, and this is why I was going. That's why I was saying what I was saying to prove my point of why I put Zeke in the first in slot number one, not just to say, oh, like I'm just using stats as my main focal point. No, there's a reason why I had Zeke there, and there's a reason why I use stats to prove my point. Like I get it, Zeke was hurt most of last season, and yes, he barely eclipsed 1,000 yards. And let's be real here, if Zeke only had 1002, that's what he had, 1002. 1,002 yards last season. If you take away week 18, if you take away game 17, Zeke doesn't touch 1,000 yards. Gibson, if you take away, because in his last game rushing, he had 146 yards. Yeah, if you well, he didn't even play against Philly. So if you take away Gibson's week 17, he's even behind Dak if they played the same amount of games. So yeah, I'm using stats to tell him why I would have had Zeke at number one. I'm not just using stats as a whole reasoning of what am I trying to say here? I'm not trying to use just stats alone. I mean, there's reasons why I was saying what I was saying of why why Zeke would be my number one and why Gibson would be my number two. But again, those two guys are basically interchangeable because if you do look at their stats, they're around the same.
Yeah. So, man, everybody's really excited about Josh or Zach Wilson scoring with a MILF, and people want to hear our reactions about it.
Yeah,
But
man, I didn't even know that was going down.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to him. I've done that when I was young, so
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Props to him.
I mean, I don't think my wife's awake, but yeah, I remember being 19. I remember being 19, and I was at my buddy's mom's graduate. She graduated from college. She went back to school. She was having a
Hmm.
party, and one of her friends was 31, and I hooked up with her.
Yeah, dude, older chicks love young guys.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just,
and then going to bars and being 21 and talking to like a dude. My
mhm.
favorite were like the hot ass 40-year-olds for
Oh
whatever
hell yeah,
reason.
oh yeah, yeah. No, dude, I've always been into older women. I mean, that's why my wife is also 10 years older than me.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, I'm 36 and she's well, actually, she's not. I can't say 10, but we're almost 10. But she kicked my ass if she heard that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, dude, I came to a conclusion a long time ago, man. Little girls don't know what they want, and I got tired of just dealing with all the stupid shit. So one day I was like, yo, I'm going older because at least the older women, they're established. They are
Yeah.
in their career. They don't need a man to keep them comfortable. They support their own. So it's like, hey, and I went, and they don't play games. So that's the direction I went, and I never looked back, dude.
Yeah, the girl I was with before my wife, we were exactly 10 years apart, but it was just too much, man. She wanted to go out way too much, and I was like, man, I ain't about that. I am not about that anymore. So
Yeah. No, luckily, man, mine loves being at home. So you know,
mm-mm.
I'm not a
Luckily,
real person to go out anymore either. I'd
yeah,
rather
no,
be at
luckily
home.
my wife now she don't go out too much or at all. Like now that we have our son, she
Yeah.
don't go out. Period. And I'd rather stay home, barbecue, and drink at the house, and then
Hell yeah, dude.
do this kind of shit all day. I
Yep.
mean,
I ain't getting
I
in
mean,
trouble.
you saw the brisket that I made. You
Oh
saw
yeah.
that shit.
Hmm.
So I'd rather do that all day every day than to go out and I'm like, man, there's no way. Like even just drinking these couple beers I'm drinking here, I'm gonna wake up with a headache tomorrow. Like I cannot, dude. I miss the days to where like I can drink all night and wake up the next morning after 3 hours of sleep and be fresh as a daisy and good to go. Like
Well, I have not. I've heard so many people talk about hangovers the next day and shit from drinking. Listen, I have not drank in probably 2 years up till Saturday night. This past
yeah,
Saturday. This past Saturday, dude, we went out and we were throwing some, cornhole and having a barbecue while we were upstate at our softball tournament. Bro, I think I went through 10 beers and like Sunday morning I woke up no hangover. Like, I know some people don't get them, but I pity the ones that do, man, because I hear they suck bad.
yeah. No, man. I partied so much growing like from age like 18, 19, all the way to about 26, 27, somewhere around there. And dude, I'm not kidding you. Like for the first like 6, 7 years, I could drink, wake up the next morning, 3 hours of sleep, be drunk, go to work still. I'm good. But
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you, bro. I have like 3 beers, 4 beers, and I catch a little bit of a buzz. Dude, I gotta be in bed for at least 3 days just to recover, drinking a whole bunch of water.
I've never had that issue, man.
Jesus.
So, okay, listen, we got what, 62 days,
Yeah.
right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So, in these next 62 days, man, there's probably going to be a lot of shit talked. There's probably going to be a lot of conversations. I want to know, man, what is your expectations for this team this year? You yourself know you've had some changes. Nothing truly major. I mean, you don't
No.
even give Randy Gregory a major loss.
Yeah.
So, what when you look at this team, you see your quarterback, you see your halfbacks, and your wide receiver, and all that. Like, what is your opinion of this team right now, just going into the season?
Knee jerk reaction. We're still look. We had 12 wins last year. We got an easy schedule. I'm saying 12 wins again until I'm proven out. If we had a harder schedule, like one of the hardest schedules out there, my stance would be different. I get it. We lost players, but you know It's an even balance. You lost players, but you got an easy ass schedule. Why not still have 12 wins? I mean, I mean, I was on another stream, and we were talking about this also, um, and we were going down the list, and I was explaining to him. I was telling him, I was like, look, if we come out of the first 5 games, even the first 6 games, 500 or one game above 500, look at the next rest of the season. You have you have the Bears there, you have the Vikings, you have the Packers, which Aaron Rodgers without a wide receiver. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen there. You have the Jaguars, you have Houston, you have the Titans, the Lions. The back half of your schedule. I mean, after the first 6 games, it's a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk, man. And so for me, my expectations are anywhere between 10 to 12 wins. That's my expectations. And anything less is going to suck, and we'll just have to do what we got to do to be back where we were the next year.
Do you believe that statement's true? Take your non-biased shit out of the equation. Do you think that's true?
You're asking me?
Yeah. And don't be a Dallas fan.
I'm not. That's what I'm thinking right here. I'm thinking, and I'm gonna take a book out of the Eagles page here, right? Because y'all want to sit here, and I'm not saying you, but other conversations I've had is it all alludes to we're paper champs right now, and we're making fun of those Eagle fans because they're all hyped because on paper y'all look amazing, right? Those are your words, y'all, not yours, but those Eagle fans' words, and they want to sit there and say y'all been excited about being paper champs for years now. Why can't we be excited? I've never been excited about being a paper champ. Never once. Never once. Never once. Do I think the Eagles are overhyped? You're damn right I do, only because it's a bunch of names on paper and it's making the media, everything, talk about how great y'all are going to be. We don't even know how great the Cowboys are going to be, even if they're going to be great. We don't even know what Washington's going to be. We can all be fucked at the end of the season, and it's a fucking Giants with 14 wins, and while everyone else is sitting at 8 wins,
Well, if that happens, me and you need to go to our owners and seriously sit them down and be like, tear this fucking team apart right now and restart from the ground up. If the Giants in Washington somehow get over us this year, we need to fire everyone. Do we not agree on this?
Yeah, no, yes, I agree, but you get what I'm saying. Like, we still got to play the games. We do not know. So, like, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. That we're over here saying like, oh, the Eagles are gonna win. Because it's nice not being the main focal point and going into the season. It's nice. It's nice when analysts sit there and say like last season you have the Giants that got better, the Washington got better. So you're gonna have the Cowboys and the Eagles sitting at 3 and 4 while Washington and the Giants are fighting for the top of the division. What happened? The Eagles, I mean the Washington and the Giants were in the damn basement, So, like for me, do I think the Eagles are overhyped? Oh yes, and that's only because no one's played a single game. You don't know, and I don't like. I would even tell you if the Cowboys were overhyped. Like I mean, to me, every team is overhyped until you get the game, until you play the game, and the hype is met. If the hype is real, then it's real. But you just will not know until you start playing games. And I'm not just talking about week 1 or even week 2. When you're about 5-6 weeks in and your team is 5-2 or 6-1 or 7-1, then yeah, the hype it's not overhyped. The hype's real. You know what I mean?
Well, and I get what you mean. And BG, I love you, dog. I truly do. But people like BG and EC1 truly make it hard for us Eagle fans to a point, because when you sit there and say 16-1 until proven otherwise, when we haven't even put pads on yet, man, I can't defend that. As an Eagle fan, I truly can't. I love my team, and I will root for them win or lose, but I cannot say that. I can't. No matter how much I love this team, no matter how much green flows through my blood, I cannot say that. You know, and that's why I love Philly Fan D's thing right here, man. Nobody's picking the Birds other than those two to go to the Super Bowl. But expectations for us, logical Eagle fans, is just truly to win the division and win one playoff game. And dude, that is satisfying to me for the year from last year. Like if you can win the division and you can win one playoff game, that's progress to move on to next season. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with that. Now,
I mean, you have people in your fan base that, because I've called them out and I've had one-on-ones with them, that when I back them up against the wall, they want to sit there and say that our draft, our offseason looks like trash, yada yada, this and that, and then they've out there they've sat there and said, well, we're contending, but we're not contending for a Super Bowl. Then what are you contending for? And then when I push them more, they say, you know what, we are contending for a Super Bowl. And I can't understand how people can say that when, like you said, no one's played a single game. Yeah. No one's played a single game. You can't sit there and say we're like the Eagles are trying to win the Super Bowl, but not the Cowboys. No, the whole goal for every team going into every offseason is to come out and try to put the best team you think together to try to win that Super Bowl. Now, obviously, we know that doesn't happen all the time or ever, but still, the whole goal, right, is to try to quote unquote win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That's what you're trying to do. So every team is trying to be a contender. So you can't sit there and say because what the Cowboys did, they're not trying to be contenders. No, that's not true. You can't sit there and say what the Saints did, they're not trying to be contenders, or what the Bucks. No, every team is trying to do what they got to do to be contenders. Just because the Eagles had, and I'm gonna say it, they had a decent offseason, doesn't mean that they're the only team trying to be contenders.
Yeah, no, everybody's goal to start the year should be to get to the Super Bowl, at least in the team. I'm saying in the locker room. Like if A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Dak, Zeke, CD, all these guys, even Wentz and McLaren and DJ and Galladay, if they're not thinking Super Bowl aspirations right now, why the fuck are you playing? Like that should be everybody's goal. Now, granted, it's probably not going to happen, but that should be the goal. Your goal should always be to be the last team playing, But there is certain teams out there where their aspirations are to just make playoffs, a.k.a. like Detroit, Atlanta, the Panthers, Bears. They go in thinking, hey, we want to make the Super Bowl, but realistically they know the talent isn't there to get there. Some of these teams know that. Now, I love what you said. We are paper champs, 100%. And I love the energy that the Eagle fans are bringing. I do. But, and I really admire it, but we got to slow down a little bit, man, because like Jeff said it a little bit. Dude, injuries happen. We don't know if Gannon's going to come out here and shit the bed with this defense. Yeah, we got him good players, but can he systematically make it work? Can he continue to let Riddick rise and continue to sack people like he has been the last 2 years? Can he turn Nakobe Dean into what everybody thinks he can be? Can he help Kaiser White take that next step? Can he help Bradbury? Can he help Slay? Can he help Harris? Can he help Tark? Can he help Epps? Can he bring Jordan Davis up to speed and make him the dominant player he needs to be? Can he revive Fletcher Cox a little bit? Can he revive BG? I don't know that. There's certain things that are still on the table that you have no answers to. You only see what people put in tweets, and you only see what people say who are professionals and media people that know people who tell them things. And to me, man, I can't go off that. I love my team, but until I see them on this field, I'm not giving you anything. I have personal goals that I want to see my players reach. We made the bet with Jalen Hurts this year, that he needs to throw over 1,000 passing yards and he needs to have 22 touchdowns or more. I think that's a reasonable goal because he almost had 4,000 yards last year. There's no reason for him not to go up. But realistically, he could fall too. He could have worse numbers.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, dude. It can be an offense, it can be a defense, it can be everyone combined. Like, just it's not there. The chemistry isn't there. Like that's why I never speak out of context, and that's why you'll never see me on Boys' show getting roasted. Because I don't say that kind of stuff. I won't say that stuff because I don't want to be on his show. This is the only show I'll be on him with, like this right here. But
Yeah.
it's really difficult, man, because you love your team, and it always should be about the name on the front, not the name on the back.
Exactly.
But it's going to be a good division, man. This
No,
year,
no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and I can't wait. We're like they said, 59 days away. I am super excited. I cannot wait, man. Like we are already in the month of training camp starting, even though it's we're 2 weeks away from training camp, man. 2 weeks away, and then we're like 3 weeks away from the first preseason game. We're less than a month away from the first preseason game, man. So it's crazy.
No, that's not true, dude. First off, I never said we were a shoe-in to win the division. We have a roster to win it. Dallas has a roster to win it. Commanders might have a roster to win it. It all depends on wins. But the whole thing is, though, just because you say you're a shoe-in to win the division does not mean you're also a Super Bowl contender.
No, because look what the Dallas Cowboys did last year. I look, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Any team that makes the playoffs, you're a contender, because anything can happen, right?
Sure.
Anything can happen, and to that extent of what he's saying, is true. So,
yes.
But hey, hold on, give me a second. I got someone from work calling me. Keep talking.
Yeah, I'll go through the chat real quick. Well, Eagles won the Super Bowl and then became a fluke. Yeah, no, dude. Most people do that. Very seldom will you see teams win a Super Bowl and then go back to back. I mean, unless you're Tom Brady, of course, but he's unique. Y'all been saying that for 26 years plus. Hey, by the way, shout out to the 12 people in here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for keeping the chat going crazy. I love that you guys are communicating with each other and giving each other hell. I appreciate y'all keeping it clean, y'all having fun with it. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button on your way in or your way out. I'm on the road to 1K, trying to get this channel monetized. Boys here, he's already monetized. He brings the thunder. Go sub up to him. He is a cowboy content creator, but like I said, go know thy enemy. You definitely want to know what the enemy team is like. You want to study them so you know what we're getting into. So definitely go check him out. He knows his team very well. And definitely go sub and give a like to Hardcore Sports as well. We are on the road to 1K also. We started a couple weeks back, already over 100 subs, so appreciate each and every one of you for all the support there as well. You guys have been frauds for almost 30 years. I don't want to hear you talk, buddy. Every fan base will be hyped up for their team because it's a new season and all fan bases have that positive vibe. Yeah, listen, man, there's nothing wrong with having positive vibes. There isn't. I respect you guys as Giant fans having positive vibes. You got a new head coach, you got a new defensive coordinator, new GM. You had a really nice draft. You have reasons to be positive. You really do, man. And I will not disrespect you guys on that. I'm one of those people where I will be real with you. I might hate your team, but I'll give you credit where it's due. Same with the Cowboys, same with Washington. If you guys do something good, I will give you the nod. I will give you props. It is what it is. And I'm just one of those fans where I can be biased at times for sure on my team. And mainly during the season I am because, well, it's the season, But in the off season, I will tell you straight up the truth and honesty. I won't lie to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke out your ass. I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't expect this division to be a blowout. A lot of people call us the NFC least. I think that changes this year. I don't think we'll be the least. Uh, I think you will have two really good teams. I've said it many times. I believe that between Dallas and Philadelphia, it's going to come down to one or two games for the top spot. It might come down to the end of the season, who gets the top spot. I don't know. But I'm always going to be positive about my team, but I'm also always going to give every other team the benefit of the doubt, and I'm also going to give them their props when they do something good. I'm not going to disrespect any team for doing good things, but I will knock your asses down when you do bad things, aka the 3rd and 9 QB sneak, But funny part is, I don't say that shit. You sound delusional. I would just like to be a 500 team again. Forgot what that felt like since we haven't seen it since 2017. No, Jeff, and you know something, man, as Giant fans, I give you guys 100% props, dude. To have the last 5 seasons that you guys have had and to still hold on and still fight through all the diversity, man, props to you guys, because your Giants have not really done good the last few years, man, and I know it's frustrating. I mean, us as Eagle fans, we went through it through the 90s. I mean, it is what it is, man, but eventually your team will bounce back. At least that's one thing I can say about the NFC East, bro. None of us will ever be the Cleveland Browns. None of us will ever be the Buffalo Bills. We might have a few bad seasons, but we always bounce back. We always have known how to bounce back. Whether it's Washington, I can't say that about Washington right now. Washington's starting to remind me of the Browns a little bit, but they're coming out of it.
But y'all weren't really who y'all were until at least the 2000s. Like even the 80s. No. I mean, you went to one Super Bowl in the 80s, and that was in 82. And it's crazy because you even beat the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even think the NFC East today, what it is today, wasn't known for what it wasn't. It didn't even come to be until the 90s.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, man. We all sit here and we down each other and stuff, and we bust each other's balls pretty good. And understandably, we should, because we all hate each other pretty equally. I'm not going to lie. But you also have to remember something too. We are also the most dominant division in all of NFL. We have the most playoffs. We have the most Super Bowls. We're the only division to beat Tom Brady 3 times. Dude, we are the most dominant division in all of football. And if you don't believe it, go look it up. That's something that all of us 4 teams have to be proud of. No one in the NFL
we're the only team in the NFL to have every team in the division have a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the end, man, we might hate each other, but we also have to respect each other, because we have done things in the NFL that no other division has done before, and I like to think that's a good thing for us, because you have your separate teams, but then you have your division as a whole, and for a division as a whole, bro, we've been dominant forever. We really have. So that's something we can all kind of hang our heads up about. There's not one division that comes close to doing what we've done so far.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. But man, we've been at this for about an hour and a half already, man.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Over.
Listen, man, I'm gonna get through these last little chats here. Holy shit, I didn't know it got that crazy. And then we'll end it up here because I got a stream starting here at 9, and I gotta get my kids to bed. So.
Yeah, I gotta cook dinner here. My stream starts in an hour.
Yeah. If Eagles and Cowboys remain healthy, squad most of all in the NFL season, they both should be battling for the NFC East crown, and both will be eyeing for the playoffs berth. Yeah. No, and while you were away, I don't know if you heard or not, man, but I give you guys respect to that point. You know, even though I hate you, I can't disregard what you have done. Even though you haven't won anything in 26 years, you're still competitive. You know, like we said at the beginning, fool's gold. You know, but I only give the division like a 1 or 2 game spread. You know, first place and second place. Like if you guys are 12 wins, we'll either have 11 or 10. You know, in second, or if we have 12, you'll have 11 or 10. You know, I don't think you're. It'll come down to the last couple of weeks before you'll know. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be close. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Um. Sorry, dude. I'm really trying to pronounce that name. Do you know how to pronounce this dude's name? Is it Javian?
I just
I
call him
know.
Rodriguez when he comes on my stuff. I just call him
Okay.
Rodriguez.
All right, Rodriguez.
I do.
I hope I said your first name right. I hope it's Javian. I probably slaughtered that, but appreciate you, man. And I do agree with that. Not all Eagle fans are the same. Not all Cowboy fans are the same. Dude, there's some Eagle fans out there I can't even stand. So, you know, yeah, let's go to Almighty.
Yeah.
So,
We have our boy down all the way at the bottom. East Coast Gridiron.
oh, okay. Well, 95% are delusional as fuck, but Boys for Life respect him because he's actually not delusional. No, he isn't, man, and that's why I love doing this show with him because, you know, he, he he caught my attention. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You caught my attention when we first talked for the first time, and you said Dak wasn't the guy. That is when I started listening to you, because not many Dallas fans will say that. Most fans like tickle his anus and fucking think he's like the god gift to humankind, but
Oh, I know. It cracks me
you
up.
don't do that, and that's why I respect you because you're not afraid to put your team down. You know, and that says stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's. I mean, I've been called many names of because I say Dak Prescott isn't, and it's named them, and they're well. I've been said I am a certain thing because I don't like Dak Prescott, and it has nothing to do with that. It's that if you just look at it, there's no way you put all these weapons around this guy and you still fail. It's just not happening. You can't do that. An elite quarterback, a good quarterback, and then people want to sit there and say, because I made the comment, if you put Tony Romo on a team like this, look, I will say this to the day I die. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Tony Romo, throughout his entire career, did not have a running game or an offensive line the way we had in 2016. Now, in 2016, the offensive line was at its peak to where it started to come down after that. You had a rookie, Ezekiel Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
This was the year I looked at it as like, holy crap, we're not going to be throwing Tony Romo's not going to be dropping back 40, 30 plus times a game and trying to throw the ball. It's not going to happen. We're not going to get these random, he's thrown the ball 15 plus times in the past three series that we're going to get another interception at a horrible time. I was like, this is the year. We got our running game, we got our passing game, because I didn't care what wide receivers we had as long as we had a good one with Tony Romo, because he was that guy to throw the ball up for someone to go up and get it. I honestly thought we're going to a championship game. We're going to an NFC championship game, and that's what I honestly thought. And look, I get it. You put in Dak Prescott, but it all changed with Dak. Zeke became the focal point, not Tony Romo. And I get it. Zeke that year led us as far as he did, but then our defense let us down, and then Dak let us down. Because I get it. It was a battle in the playoffs, but you're putting an inexperienced rookie in a playoff situation against one of the greatest passers of all time.
Yeah.
In Aaron Rodgers. That is unless you're that dude, right? Unless you're that dude, that is a setup for failure. That is a setup for failure. And look what happened. Our defense was already shit. We haven't had a defense the way we had a defense last year. We haven't had a defense like that in God knows how long. I can't even tell you when.
Yeah.
So So with us already having a bad defense, and our defense is a bend don't break defense, and Aaron Rodgers is going to break you no matter what. He's not going to let you bend. He's going to break you because he is that guy. And then you have a unproven rookie quarterback out there. You know, I mean, when we put in Tony Romo for a series or two at the end of the game, right, against Philly that year, he just straight destroyed y'all. And I'm not trying to make fun, but that's just what happened. He just went down the field. His first throw was an incompletion, but after that, it just right down the field and touchdown. You know,
Well, I'm gonna let you touch this one.
Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. Watch
you.
Hurts, and you realize how Dak Prescott is. Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. There is no good quarterback in the NFC East. You can shine a turd as much as you want, but at the end of the day, it's still a turd. That's what it is. So you can compare Dak Prescott and Hurts all you want. It doesn't make them great quarterbacks. Look, number wise, I did a list. Number wise, Dak Prescott is ranked 7th on my list. Do I believe he's a top 7 quarterback? Absolutely not. I think he's in the top 15, 12, around there. I think he's just outside the 10. But nonetheless, if you look at the numbers straight up as just pure passing, Dak Prescott is ranked 7th last year. So
I want to ask him, in your opinion,
keep going.
Before my man keeps going, 15. I would love to know what makes you think he's a top 5. You know, because I mean, I gotta ask, man. You know, that's why I handed it off to you boys, because you know Dak better than I do. Yes, I watch him play, you know, but I don't pay attention to him like that. I just know what I know, and you know, I just want to know, Ultra, why you think he's a top 5. Because in all honesty, bro, other than winning in the regular season, this man has not done anything to prove he's a top 5 quarterback right now. I mean, let's just nip that one in the bud, and that's just my opinion. And I'm not even being rude about it. That is just straight up my opinion. You know, Dak is good, but he ain't top 5 good.
No, and just because I watch Jalen Hurts, and I don't think he's a great, because I mean, when you look at every passing statistic for Jalen Hurts, he's in the bottom tier. It's just what it is, right? This is me. I'm not knocking Jalen Hurts. I'm not trying to belittle Jalen or talk shit. Just when you look at the pure numbers, he is bottom tier. That's what he is as just passing. When it comes to completion percentage, touchdowns, interceptions, yards, you know, he's bottom tier. So why would I look at Jalen Hurts and think, oh my God, look how great Dak Prescott is? That does not. Yeah, it may make Dak Prescott look better, but it doesn't elevate his game. It doesn't do that.
Comparing him to a second-year guy and a first-year starter to a guy who's been starting for 6 years.
Yeah.
There's a major difference between Hurts and Dak. Dak, in his 6 years, should not be making the mistakes he's making. I expect those mistakes from Hurts because how young he is and how new he is to the league. Dak's been in the league 6 years, bro.
And the mistakes Dak is making is he's holding on to the ball too long right now because he doesn't want to run. And he's trying to overthink and look and try to break down the defense, which he cannot do. He is great on quick reads against blitz, but when you try to blend and look, the Broncos did it best when we got our asses beat against him. They looked like they were blitzing, and then they dropped everything back, and they made Dak read the field. Couldn't do it. We looked horrible. And then after that game, a lot of defenses did that, and Dak fell off. He is great against the blitz where it's quick, get the ball out. But when he's got to hold on the ball and make his reads, it ain't happening. It's not happening. Not at all.
So Kirk Cousins is no longer making New York Giants content YouTube videos. No cap. Awesome. He was fucking annoying anyway. Well, hey, at least I'm not delusional. I have other Giant fans in here my bad. I have other Dallas fans in here saying that he's not as well, so we're safe. Yeah. You know, like I said, I'm not down in the guy. Listen, I will be honest with you. This was well before I even started thinking about doing YouTube content. You know, I wanted us to do the draft you guys did in 2016 when we got Wentz. Okay, I actually was really wanting to take Zeke at 2. And I know I'm going to catch a lot of fucking backlash for this, but I don't give a shit. I wasn't on YouTube at the time, but I'm going to say it. I actually really liked Dak Prescott coming out of college. In fact, he was one of the guys I was very high on. You know, I watched some of his Mississippi State tape, and I watched him, and I studied him, and I liked the way he moved. I liked his arm, everything. And how you guys did it, honestly, was how I truly thought we, as a franchise, were going to do it. Because in 2016, we needed a halfback. I ain't going to lie. We did. You know, and I thought Zeke would be that perfect guy, and then you go and you get Dak. You get Dak in the third, and you go. And you guys did exactly what I thought, man. You did. And look how it worked out.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not saying that would have been our best thing to do, but that's what I wanted us to do. It worked out in your favor, though. So, to a point, obviously, you know, you definitely have been. I'm just going to stop there before I even get in any more trouble. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're good, man. But yeah, man, I gotta start jet, man. It's already an hour 45 into this.
Yep. Yeah, I got to get going too before I'm late for my other show. But hey, I appreciate you, man, so much.
Oh yeah, man.
14 people in here. Please make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Please make sure you subscribe to my boy, Boys for Life, to me, aka Eagles, on the road to 1K, and subscribe to Hardcore Sports. All the links and everything's down at the bottom, and definitely go check out Bird Gang Network. You know, that's where Boys comes from. We're going to be doing a lot of cross-network streaming, so you know, appreciate him letting me use his guys over there for some content, and vice versa. We'll be going back and forth, so appreciate you guys so much, man. Why don't you give yourself a last shout out, and we'll get out of here, man.
All right, man. Guys, y'all know where y'all can find me. This is the other network I'm a part of. Like I was saying on the other network, I feel like I'm part of the Monday Night Wars, where I'm just on both channels. But no, you can find me here on YouTube at Boys for Life, and then at Twitter, I got Boys for Life 04 is my handle name. But on this here, I'll be doing you know, a lot of collab type of videos, and then y'all, everyone that knows who I am knows that y'all know what I do on that other stuff. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, man, and definitely, guys. Keep tuning in. You know, this is not really that energetic right now because football season isn't here. But come week 1, dude, this is going to get fun. Especially if Dallas loses and we win, or we win and they lose, you know, or vice versa. Like, dude, we're going to be able to toast each other, and, like, it's going to be fun. So definitely stick around and, you know, enjoy it because, you know, this guy brings the energy, and y'all haven't ever seen mine yet. I mean, maybe you have, but you haven't. So appreciate you, man, for doing this with me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, it's going to be fun. But, yeah, well, appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2 of 2 Beasts, 1 East. And until next Monday, appreciate you guys. Like I said, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to both of us. Y'all have a great week. Fly, Eagles, fly. Cry, Dallas, cry. We out.
Check it out, yo. Feel the rhythm on the bass, man. I feel the rhythm on the bass,